Hello guys, my name is Tatiana Martyshchenko. Imee Enay. Enay. Tatiana Martyshchenko. This is my last video for you guys, and I just want to get straight to the point. I will tell you the exact conversation that I have just been listening to. The man I do not know, the woman, same one that has been torturing me all this time, same voice, I do not know her face, same voice. They were talking very quietly, but I heard it word for word. I'm quoting. He said, "We gave her a diagnosis to die. It's decided that she must die. And the old man, they met my father, Yui, must go too, because he's also irritating us. He's sitting in his metro like she did. He looks like she did. And he must go too, and he's old. He has 2 days to live himself. We'll get rid of him. But first, we must make her. I had this idea to sell my flat here and to run away, to try to run away and apply for asylum again. I was thinking of going to Britain and trying to apply for asylum there, maybe even getting an apartment there to live and try to break free from these criminals, because I could not stand this torture no more and to spend the day-to-day actually declaring my intentions, trying to get foreign passport, trying to get the documents done, etc., which sparked that conversation I've been listening to. And they said, "We want her." And then I came home, I changed my mind. I said to my pop, I'm not leaving you here alone, because they're going to kill you. They're going to kill me separately. They're going to kill you. It's not gonna save us. Yeah, I'm going to stay with you. And they are spying on me, they are listening to me, they've heard that conversation, they were unhappy. They actually called that Valentina person to scream under my balcony. They're brainwashing her, she's totally under their control, and she was screaming and crying there, but they were thinking that they wanted to make her go after me to Britain, just to spoil things for me, to make my life there more miserable. But then they realized I'm not going nowhere, and they got upset about that. Yeah, but the terrible thing is that man was saying, meaning my father, he said that they're gonna kill him. He's old, he has 2 days to live himself, and he's irritating them because he looks like me, he acts like me, he reminds them of me. And they also mentioned that they want to free the flat, the apartment, the 3-bedroom apartment in which we are currently living, my father and I. They want to give it to their people as a remuneration for their hard work in torturing me. And they mentioned that they said, "We gave her a diagnosis to die. It's a question of where and how she will die." They said that we cannot let her stay in Russia. Actually, we want her. We need her to go out. We need all this Italian family to go out of there, go out of here. We'll make them leave Russia for Britain, for wherever, yeah? And then we are gonna kill them, because it's not gonna be good for us if she dies here, meaning myself, yeah? If she goes to Britain, for example, takes money for the apartment, all the money that Papa's gonna give me, yeah? If she takes all this money, goes to Britain, speaks up her mind, speaks up dirt about Russians, buys some beautiful apartment, then we are gonna kill her with pleasure, because we are gonna go after her. This man was saying, I do not know who this man is, yeah? I've heard this conversation audially, yeah? An ear witness. And he said that we are gonna go after her. We have money to spend. Britain is still a poor country. People don't know that. He said that Britain was a poor country. And he said that we are gonna, as usual, he said, bribe everybody, give money or promise money to the officials. They are not gonna give her asylum. They are gonna do what we want them to do, yeah? They're gonna make her life miserable. They're gonna make her life hell. They're gonna drive her out. And we will prepare the apartment for her. He used these words: we will prepare the apartment for her, the one that she will buy with all this money. Will install something nuclear, radioactive, something, chemistry. He used the word chemistry. And he mentioned the poisoning of me in that Brazilian airport, and the doctor, quotation marks, yeah, this term, this scary man who was in the Brazilian airport, gray-haired, scary, non-blinking man who refused to call me ambulance at that point when I was screaming, wriggling in pain on a gurney, vomiting on the floor, screaming for my life in pain, and he refused to call me ambulance. That guy who was in that Brazilian airport posing as a doctor. Yeah, and he mentioned that guy and he said, well, he acted wonderfully at that time. And he said, chemistry, yeah, it's gonna do the thing. He mentioned rat poison, he mentioned the word chemistry, and he said, he told this woman, yeah, uh, you will continue to poison her. He said at the Brazilian airport, she mentioned she felt bad after coffee. And there she is, she drinks lots of coffee here. We can see it, we can prove it, yeah? So you add this poison to the water in her kettle, the water that in her bottle, the water that she's drinking. Just add enough that it becomes bubbly, and yeah, that's gonna be it, yeah. And then we'll say she was drinking all the coffee and it went to her stomach, it ruined her, yeah. He also said that if she goes to Britain, then we're gonna do the same there, yeah. We're gonna prepare the apartment for her, we're gonna hire people to rape her, we're gonna film all this on camera, we're gonna show it to the whole of Russia, and we're gonna tell them, so look at her, do not go to Britain, stay in Novosibirsk, quotation marks, yeah? They're going to show my death. He told that woman that either way I will not live longer than this spring, yeah, whether here or whether there, yeah, but that it's better for them if I go there because there is some person here. He called him Alexei or Andrei. He actually called this Russian name, who was disbelieving, who was looking into investigating my story, and they were frustrated with this. They wanted him to stop, and he also said that there are people here who are believing what I'm saying, who are sympathetic, who want them to leave me alone, yeah, and he was not happy. He said there were people who were saying, okay, you told us she will live in Paris and she will die in Paris in beauty and elegance. So where's Paris? She's back here in Novosibirsk, suffering, pale, terrible, yeah. So what Paris? So he said we need to create this luxurious situation in which she's gonna die, so nobody ever pities her. And then we are going to kill her father when he's alone here. That's going to be our next step. He has 2 days to leave himself, and he said, the woman, I will give this flat to you as a remuneration for your work. He said, continue to attack her. They are using some kind of device, you know, Havana syndrome, guys. You know, this Havana syndrome when the whole US embassy in Havana got attacked. They all felt bad, they all felt terrible, they were unable to continue working. And later it was proved that there was some very strong radiomagnetic attack at that building. So guys, I know nothing about this beside the basics, but they're using something similar on me here, which is smaller in radius, which is more targeted. Every time I sleep on the floor, I sleep on the floor because I do not have a normal bed here. Every time I sleep on this terrible broken bed that's hurting my bones, that's here, it doesn't make no difference. Something, as soon as I lie down, they turn on, I hear the sound of them attaching something heavy to the floor, moving something heavy. And then comes this feeling, my heart starts beating very rapidly, it just explodes in my chest, it does not stop. And I get hot, I get cold, I get hot, I get cold, and like my temperature increases to some crazy level and my heart beats so it can explode. And it's unnatural. They are doing this with some machinery. I heard them mention 200 volts. She can stand 200 volts. That's quotation. She can stand 200 volts. And I cannot stand anything because they are torturing me literally every time I try to sleep at night. He told that woman, continue with the same, yeah? Make her heart explode. If she does not react, if she does not cry for mercy, make it explode. Her father will find her dead one morning and that's it, yeah? That's quotation marks, guys. And he said, well, wait. So I'm trying to focus my mind now because it's very, very, very difficult. I hope you can understand my speech. It's very quick. And he said, continue with the same, plus poison her, plus continue to torture her as you did. They are summoning some groups by my window, screaming threats, screaming hate speech. Do the same, he told her. They are taking some heavy metal thing, I do not know what it is, and throw it on the ceiling above my head. Right where I am in the room, right as I move, they do it non-stop, especially when they see it's bugging me, yeah? It's very heavy, it's like somebody drops a heavy metal ball, a heavy lead ball, right over your head, yeah? It gives this booming sound. They do it all the time. They don't let me sleep. They do not let me be in silence. They scream threats, they scream hate speech, yeah? Non-stop. It's torture, it's physical torture, especially this Havana syndrome machinery they use on me, yeah? Last night, I barely stood up from that floor after 3 hours of trying to get myself unconscious so my brain can rest. And I got up understanding I almost died or I'm almost dead because my heart was pounding crazy. My head was producing some loud noise in all of my ears, yeah? I felt like I was fainting. I felt like I was dying, being killed. They're using some very strong thing on me every night. They do it nonstop. And he told this woman, continue with the same. He told her, now wait for 2 or 3 days. Give her silence. So she says, hey, why was I even going to go away somewhere, yeah? It's good here. And then you give her triple what you were doing before that. Make her go away, like he said, like a cork out of a bottle of wine. She's like a cork in a bottle of wine. I need her removed out of it, yeah? Because I wonder if he meant guilt on the wine, because the Russian word for guilt, so when somebody is guilty of a crime, it's a word vina that sounds the same, similar as the word wine in Russian. Oh, I wonder if he was saying he cannot enjoy his thing while I'm still here and suffering like that, more obviously, yeah? He said, we need to get her out, we need to get rid of her dad, and we'll send the witch, meaning this Valentina woman, after her so she can help us to make her miserable. And he said, nobody's gonna help her if she runs away from the UK before we kill her there, to any other country, if she changes her mind and runs smelling the bad stuff, yeah? He said, no country in Europe is gonna take her. We're gonna talk to everybody. They're gonna be our enemy if they do something for her. We're gonna bribe everybody as we did in Brazil, yeah? As we did in French Guiana. He mentioned these things. He mentioned at airport, he mentioned the word chemistry. He said, we're gonna poison her. We're gonna prepare the department for her. We are going to make sure they do exactly what we want. These officials do exactly what we want. We will hire people to rape her. We'll tape all this. We will show this on Russian TV. And we'll make sure she speaks dirt of the Russians. So this Alexei person or whoever else who is trying to, as he was saying, investigate or look into my story will never think of me again, yeah? He also mentioned that whatever YouTube videos I was making before, they are planning to erase. The phone I'm now holding was actually given to me by a guy in Russian embassy, to whom it was given by these same people. And as I know, it's hacked. It's hacked. I do not know if my videos are even getting through to you because I've got like 10 views on my previous video, so I'm not sure anybody can see it. So I'm making it into the silence. So he said she will die. He said that we gave her the diagnosis to die. My God. I know they started this experiment on me when I was a child. Then they followed me throughout my life, kicking me and torturing me and raping me. And when I got to know about it, and when I spoke up about it, and when I ran away from them, that's where I got dangerous to them. I heard them discussing this, yeah. So that's the thing. Also, when I was in Brazil, they knowing my phenomenon, knowing that I'm unable to protect myself during sleep times when the brain is supposed to sleep, something else happens to me, which they did, yeah. I cannot protect myself. I do not know what's being done to my body. And I can say what they want me to say. I can move as they want me to move, yeah. It doesn't feel like a rubber doll, but it is a rubber doll. It is an object thing, yeah. I'm not conscious at these moments. It's not me who's doing or saying this. Yeah, it's what they order. They order me, stand on your knees, open your mouth. Yes, that's what I do. I have no memory of this. It's my body that does it. My brain is not in that thing, yeah. They tell me say this, I can say something as they want, yeah. I have no memory of this. My brain is out of this. It's just the body. I do not know how they did it. I know they did it when I was a kid of 3 or 5 years of age. And hey, that guy, yeah. So he also told that woman, while you are filming her, they're making some kind of show about me. They're using some kind of camera they installed to make some kind of show about me, yeah, and show it to Novosibirsk people. He said, when you show her, repeat the words schizophrenia, mental illness. Change your voice. He instructed her, change your voice. Don't speak like that. I can hear the laugh in your voice. I can hear this wrong attitude. Change your voice now. Sound like you are wondering or surprised or questioning what you're saying. And she actually changed her voice. She actually said the same phrase differently. And he said, yeah, that's it. And he said, repeat the words. She needs treatment. She needs mental treatment, schizophrenia, etc. Yeah, and show her and just brainwash those people who are watching that show, so nobody believes her, nobody investigates. He said, she asked, and if she dies on me, yeah, if she just dies, yeah, if she buys a new bed and dies on it. He said, wonderful. Then you call that Valentina woman, film her tears, and turn this into a mommy baby story, yeah? You repeat mommy, baby, yeah, you go on to this topic. My God, guys. Or go for schizophrenia, as she does now. Or after you poisoned her, go for the coffee topic. She was drinking lots of coffee. He also called my father crazy. When he was talking about him, he used very derogative language. He called him the Russian word "privetlivy." It's the Russian slang term for nuts, crazy, nutty, yeah, stupid, crazy. That's how he called my dad. And guys, of course. Yeah, and I forgot to tell you, yeah, they also mentioned that when I was in Brazil, they actually encouraged local people to experiment on my body. They told that they encouraged the local people who were trying to treat somebody for cancer, as I understood, or some terrible sicknesses, actually inject some kind of cancer cells or some kind of infections, viruses into my body to work out some antibodies or some kind of vaccine or some kind of material, biological material that will be used to treat their own Brazilian women and men, yeah. And they were doing this to me without my realizing every night. Actually, that Valentina woman had nothing to do with it. This psychiatrist had nothing to do with it. Those people were criminals who were injecting me with things that were mortal, that were supposed to kill me, that were killing me effectively, to save and help their own Brazilian people without my consent. And that explains, after I got to know this, I understood that explains every little bit of this. I went back to everything I wrote about in my Twitter when I did not know this stuff. Read my Twitter again, yeah? I mentioned all these things that did not make sense at the time, that made me surprised. I did not understand them, and now it all made sense. How the people in Brasilia said, quoting, that I gave my consent to people in Minas Gerais to use my body for organs for donation, for research, for experiments. I never did that. I never did that. The moment I heard about the road to everybody I could touch, that I never gave consent to give my organs, my body, my tissues, my anything for any experiments. I never allowed sex. I never allowed rape. I never allowed anybody stick a needle in my body and inject me with some cancer cells or some infections of viruses. I never gave a permission to be a laboratory rabbit for their somebodies. Yeah, they are criminals. The Brazilians are criminals. The people in Minas Gerais, Brazil, are criminals. The people in Virginia, the people in Brazil are criminals, because. But the Russians, those people, yeah, they said, quote, "We made circus there." They said, this Russian said, "We made circus there." Remember, yeah. First of all, they brought some woman there. They hired some woman, made her hair dirty. She was looking old and miserable. They called her, they were saying that she was my mother. She was not Valentina, she was a different woman. She was an actress hired. They made her up as if she was a tramp, as if she was miserable, yeah? And they used her, they showed her they put her in the middle of the street with dirty hair and crying, like a tramp who had nothing to eat. They posed her in front of everybody, saying that my mom is dying of cancer without money, that they left her like that. They showed that crying woman who had no relation to me whatsoever, who I did not know, who was an actress, a hired actress. She was not even Valentina. She was somebody else I did not know, yeah? And they used her to inspire hate. They made every person there hate me. They were lying like crazy. They were acting like crazy. And after they inspired, they were lying about some money I stole from somebody, that it was all about some money, that it was about that woman who had no relation to me whatsoever, yeah? They made people hate me. And then they, as they said, they made some clownade, some clown performance to make these people actually experiment on me. They said, she's a dog. She's a dog. Why are you experimenting on animals? Why are you killing your dogs when you have that one who is ready and willing? And they used me for that multiple times in Virginia and in Brasilia, the capital, both, yeah? And that explains all the terrible things I was going through, because like I wrote then in my Twitter and my YouTube, I was feeling all the effects of being poisoned. I had terrible pain in my bones all of a sudden. My bones were breaking down. Like they were actually breaking with terrible pain. My skin was literally getting off my muscles. It was trying to peel off my whole body. Suddenly, I had lymph nodes in between my legs, pardon me, where my vagina is. I had lymph nodes huge, the size of balls, the size of male balls, babies, on both sides of my vagina. And I was thinking I was getting cancer myself, and I was terrified. I did not know what was happening, yeah? Now I have none. Now as I'm standing here, it went away completely. I have normal human physiology now. It was like the balls the size of eggs, literally on both sides of my vagina, which completely went away on their own right now. But there I was suffering and crazy. I was in pain. I was in terror. I had the same size lymph node under my forearm when I was in French Guiana already. And in French Guiana also they were using me for the same. They followed me. They brainwashed new people. They brought some people from Brazil who were already dependent on my body for this research, for this treatment, vaccine purposes, yeah? And they used me as a laboratory animal when I was unconscious during these night periods, yeah? And they were doing all they wanted to me, you know? My heart was going for a heart attack. My brain was out. I felt sleepy. I felt like I was under drugs. I felt like I could not function. I felt confused. I felt terrified. My head was swirling. I was not able to stand up sometimes. I was in pain. My stomach was burning. I was vomiting the little food I was eating there. I was vomiting it out. My stomach tissue was literally breaking. My lower abdomen was also breaking apart. I could not do nothing. I could not understand why I have some inflammation, why it looks like a protuberance. And by the way, he used the word protuberance, that guy. He said, we will make her develop a protuberance. make sure she develops a protuberance. Yeah, and uh, and that's what was happening when I was in Brazil. Like my whole body experienced some totally terrible symptoms. Like my head was sick, aching, unfunctional. I was very weak in my body. I felt something very wrong, very ill, very scary going on. I could not walk all of a sudden sometimes. Like my legs were giving up on me. They were in terrible pain. I was unable to walk. Yeah, my heart, these egg balls in between my legs and on my forearms. Yeah, this skin crawling off my body. My face had yellow color. My hair was falling off my head. I was literally going bald. Yeah, I was feeling confused, sleepy, tired, scared, not just tired, but unable to function, drugged. I was feeling like I was on drugs, literally more often than I felt normal, yeah? I was scared. I could not eat because I would vomit that food, because my stomach was hurting. And all these symptoms interchanged, they would not go. I was scared for my life. And somehow I heard people mentioning the word mother, talking that my mother had some kind of cancer. So Valentina, who is not my mother anyway, has no cancer as far as I know, yeah? And she's well alive and healthy at the moment. But they would pose that actress woman who had no relation to me, and they would make her tell some story. They would really make some clownade to inspire hate in me. And then they said, oh, this dog used her. I never knew about this. I ran from Brazil intuitively after I got to know they were raping me, after I got to know they were doing something to me, and they called it job. They were coming at 3 or 4 a.m. I was waking up to hear them leave, or I was going to sleep and I was waking up, I was hearing some noise, but I never witnessed this. I never was there to protect myself. My brain was never there to protect myself. Now I know why these strange people were coming to the school where I worked in Virginia, or to the store where I worked in Brasilia, asking how she is, how does she feel? And the other person would reply, oh, cansada, that's Brazilian for tired. Tired. And he would say like, good. And they would both laugh with some very cruel, scary, cold laugh. And they would look at each other. And as I saw it, I noticed this face of that woman I knew from the school. It was so different from what she looked when she was talking to me. It was so ugly, cruel, like changed with cruelty and hate. And that guy's voice and face were cold and cruel. And now I understand why these people were following me. Now I understand why I was waking up to the smell of alcohol in the room, and why I was finding needle traces in my body. I would wake up and I would find needle traces in my body. Or I would wake up some nights and I had Spotify playing at night with my favorite American US rock music, or like this electronic music, alternative music that I was listening to, USA only, in English only. And I would wake up to hear those disgusting folk Portuguese songs that caused me vomit, that I hated the sound of, that I still hate the sound of. And I would wake up and hear this terrible, disgusting folk Portuguese songs suddenly, all of a sudden, playing on my Spotify. And suddenly, none of the American rock, none of the American alternative, everything changed, yeah? The songs removed, so someone was there, he messed my phone, he messed my Spotify, and he put some Brazilian sounds that I hated as a joke, and I would wake up to those terrible, scary sounds, knowing that somebody was there and changed the music for me as if it was some joke, you know? And I would find these needle traces in my body. And the smell of alcohol. And now I know why these people were following me, and why they were saying, like, she's not going to run away from us. No, she's not going to go anywhere further than Panama. That was their joke. The furthest I will get to Central America. And they actually said that they would follow me anywhere, to French Guiana, to wherever. They were finding me useful. And, man, people. And the Russians made them have that idea to do this to me. They gave them the blessing and the inspiration to be doing this to me. They knew all about it. And that's how I got to know about it, because on a different occasion, not today, on a different occasion, already some weeks ago, I heard them talking about that. I want you to know this. And now they are saying we gave her a diagnosis to die because she was talking too much, because she was against Russia. And she will die anyway, whether she runs or not. We'll find her. He said maybe we'll have a problem if she runs east, if she manages to disappear, but I don't think she will disappear. We'll locate her. I have nothing to do. I'm scared. They said they are gonna make my heart explode with their technology, Havana syndrome, electricity, current, whatever they're using on me, and it does make my heart explode. It does cause extensive harm. They said they will call some kind of protuberance in me that I will die from. They said if that doesn't help, a car will run over here. We'll get a car to run over here. And he ordered the woman to poison me with some substance until it gets bubbly, put it in my water, and then say it's coffee, yeah, after I'm dead. And he told her, like, change your voice and say schizophrenia, like that guy. He said he acted so wonderfully in that Brazilian airport, the guy who refused to call me ambulance, who was seeing me dying and wriggling in terror and scare and physical intense pain and vomit. And I was thinking I was dying, and I was dying at that point, yeah? Because they poisoned me. They said chemistry. They said rat poison for rats. For the 2 rats, I did not know who they meant under the 2nd rat. I hope it's not my power. I do not know who they meant. Who else they are poisoning, yeah? And they said she's welcome to come up with these, because then we'll see who will come to her help. We want to track those people. And we'll make your videos unusable. I guess I just wanted to know this.